Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and you're watching another live edition of the LockerGnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short. Your daily dose of geek news, product views, and answers that you can use. Like an answer to the question, Chris, is all you're going to talk about today the iPhone? And the answer to that question is no. I'm also going to be talking about the Asus Memo Pad 8. Memo? Memo? Can I say? I'm going to say Memo. Asus Memo Pad 8. But you know, I'm always thrown off. I only read about these things, and I never actually hear them spoken aloud, and everybody seems to have a different way of pronouncing. I just said pronouncing. Pronouncing words. We're off to a rip-roaring start this Monday, aren't we? I'm going to unbox this today, and I'm also going to be giving away one of these, no matter what you want to call it. This could be yours, the very one that I unboxed, but that's okay if you don't get it, because I have another one, and another one, and I have two more. I only have so many hands, though, unfortunately. So I'm giving away a Intel Android tablet every day of this week. And I'm just giving them away. I mean, do you want one? Cool. You gotta let me know, though, because I can't just, like, send it to someone randomly. Like, all of a sudden this shows up at the door, and they're like, what is this? I didn't ask for this. So you gotta let me know you're interested in possibly getting this. It's just a random gift from me. And thanks to Intel. There we go. Oh, right there. See, Intel inside. They sent these to me, and so this giveaway is just random. It's a gift for me. The way to do it is you go over to Twitter and you use the hashtag Intel Android. Very simple. Hashtag Intel Android. I'm assuming you know how to spell both of those words, and you may pronunciate them differently. God. Oh, Monday. So there you go. That's it. And every day I'm just going to pick one person who uses that hashtag. Good luck. You don't need to be a geek or a nerd to get one because technology's for the entire galaxy. Just like this book. People keep wondering if I'm ever going to get this book, and yes, I have 5 copies. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My daughter is Vader's little princess. They also have a statuette. It's a little more expensive, so I'm not sure I want to get the statue yet. But I do have the book, Vader's Little Princess. Geeky. Let me go ahead and thank the 914 Supernomies as of today. And you're going, whoa, what happened to 15 of the Supernomies? Well, because their pledges didn't go through. They're not active, so they don't get the bonuses. Like 90 exclusive videos, plus all sorts of other bonuses. It's easy to become one of the Supernomies. And every one of you, if you're watching, you're my nomies. What's up, my nomies? This is easy to do. Just head over to chrispirillo.com. You'll be redirected. It's so super simple. If you think the things that I do are worth the price of a cup of coffee, I'd imagine you think that an Intel Android tablet is worth more than a price of a cup of coffee. Have fun. So I'll unbox that at some point in today's broadcast. We'll have fun with that. Do not worry. I also want to remind everybody that we are also supported by Citrix. Go to Assist offers a secure cloud-based solution for IT and customer support professionals to provide live and unattended, not unappended. I'm making up all sorts of words today. Unattended remote supports to their employees and customers working from any computer or mobile device. For a 30-day free trial, visit gotoassist.com, one of my favorite remote troubleshooting tools of all time. No doubt about it, not just because Citrix has been a supporter of ours over time. So, Apple, iPhone. I've been tweeting up a storm after this weekend's live unboxing with gold. The gold. Gold is best. This is gold because gold is best. This is why gold. I like gold and it's gold. Gold is best. This is why you get gold. I'm not a happy camper. I'm not a sad camper and I'm not a happy camper with the iPhone 6. It's a mixed bag, quite honestly. And part of it is because of the sloppiness of iOS 8, and I kind of went off on a tear. So I've got the unboxing. You can watch that, and many people did. I think we had about 700 people tune in live for that broadcast. And then the initial impressions video, which I did a day later. That was yesterday, and that ended up being long. And it was kind of like it was an in-depth, I wouldn't call it a review. I was just giving you my perspective and my experiences with things, and it ended up going off on a tear on iOS 8. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder if I need to start like an Apple blog just so Apple will start paying attention to the things that I'm saying. Because it seems to be the only way to get their attention, which is unfortunate because I think that they're just missing out on so many key components for usability with iOS 8 specifically. A lot of people are upset at me because I told them about a bug that they can't unsee. The folder corner resize bug. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You tap the folder icon, it gets bigger, and watch in iOS 8, watch the folder corners, the rounded corners jump. You can't unsee it. You're welcome. Now, don't sit there and tell me that I'm too critical. If anything, I would get upset at the reviewers who aren't critical enough. You know, if you praise every single device that comes down the pike and you don't bother to point out your issues with those devices, that causes me not to trust you as much. Because as much as, you know, I'm very content. I'm hesitant to say I'm happy with the iPhone 6. I'm content with the device. It's a mixed bag, honestly. And there are very few devices that I'm just completely bowled over by. And maybe it's just that I'm a lot more, I'm picky. But I think as consumers, we can all afford to be picky when it comes to the devices that we choose to use on a regular basis. I'm very, very excited to see what's coming down the pike with Android L, whatever it's going to be called, Lollipop possibly. The design ethos of Android L looks spectacular. I hope someone's keeping track of the words that I'm making up. It looks spectacular. It looks like a design ethos that I could hang my hat on. And I from what I saw at Google I/O, I much more appreciate the design ethos of Android L more so than iOS 8 or certainly 7. I have a lot of hang-ups with the sloppiness in iOS at this stage. It seems that Apple's completely dropped the ball. And I would say, why aren't more Apple fans or you know, tech reviewers holding Apple responsible for the obvious slop? It's obvious. Maybe they just don't care about software as much as they do their chamfered edges, if your phone has chamfered edges, if you even know what chamfered edges is or are. If you know what I'm just saying, I wasn't okay, enough of that right now. Apple, apparently, despite my issues, and I know I'm not the only one who has the issues, sold over 10 million iPhone 6 and 6 Plus units in 3 days after launch, beating 9 million iPhones sold in the same period last year, so they're growing. A lot of people have Plus regret upgrading to the iPhone 6 Plus and then just realizing it was just wasn't what they wanted. Or, as I call it, the iPad Nano. That's the iPhone 6 Plus. Like I said, it's just it's interesting when I put something out there. The thing that I can't stand the most is when I post something saying here's the problem I'm having, and then getting tons of people saying, well, I'm not having that problem. Well, congratulations. Do you want a cookie? I'm not if I ask you if you're having the problem. If you're not having the problem, okay, great. But you may be having the problem. If I say here's my problem and people chime in and say, well, I'm not having the problem, therefore it doesn't exist. No, the problem still exists. And just because you can't see the sloppiness of iOS doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Trust me. Trust me. These minor things add up. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Okay. Breathe. Now, does this mean I'm going to switch from iOS to Android? It's not that simple. I've gone over this with you so many times. Every single day, someone, oh, you don't like something about it? Oh, are you going to switch? No, it's not that easy. If it was that easy, I'd be switching every other day. But it's not that easy. Are you going to switch? No, just calm down. Calm down. You think I'm agitated? Just calm down. Calm down. Just because you perceive a single problem or a multitude of problems does not mean that ipso facto you're going to switch. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. Okay, I have no current plans on switching. None whatsoever. None. And that does not mean I'm a digital sadist either. Or wait, masochist. Sorry, I got the sadism. I'm not a sadist or a masochist, so sometimes I screw up the definitions, but trust me, there is an absolute difference between the two. All right, so iPhone. Then, apparently, I'm not the only one who had battery life issues. I've been complaining. No one's listening, I know. I could file a bug report with Apple, and it would likely get shuffled away, because no one knows a human being at Apple. The problem I've been having with the Mail app apparently has happened with other users. I've reset the accounts. I've installed. I mean, obviously, used a different device. There is a problem with the Mail app on iOS 8. It's sucking battery, and every time I try to pull up a message, or every other time, it spins for like 30 seconds before it actually loads the message, and a message that it's got the headers, it's got the preview, it has what it needs, but there's some kind of hang up there. It's killing my battery. On the iPhone 6, 5.5 hours, and it was pretty much dead. That's why I'm tethered. I got my umbilical cord here on the phone because I needed to recharge. It was dead, which was kind of sad to me. I don't like when phones die. I'm generally not a fan of that. But apparently, in independent tests, iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus battery life, both apparently trail the competition. And this has been my experience. I mean, the benchmarks that they were showing, everything stacked up against one another, the iPhone 6 was pretty much squarely where it was for me. And I wasn't really even doing anything. I know you're saying, oh, all you need to do for mail is, reconnect your accounts. Just delete and then reconnect your accounts. I did that. All you need to do is just turn off push. I did that. All you need to do is try fetched. I did that. All you need to do is just toggle manual. I did that. All you need to do is reboot your phone. I did all that. I did it, and mail is still being a wookalar on my battery. Now, if you don't know what a wookalar is, I'm not making up that word. Private Eyes, one of the best Tim Conway, Don Knotts comedy duo movies of all time. Teeth. Okay, I'm gonna move on. So apparently I'm not the only one with battery life issues, and I'm trying to, if I could give more information to someone who could fix the problems, I'd be more than happy to. If I could talk to the person at Apple, and I can only assume that it's a person at Apple who's responsible for the folder zoom maximum, there's someone at Apple who's responsible for this just asinine UI hiccup. It's like, it gets bigger and then, no, I'm not done. What? I get, it just ruins the illusion of one icon just getting larger and then shrinking. It ruins the illusion that Apple is trying to create with their experience. Apple, oh my God. I don't know where their head's at in terms of software experience these days. But they need to find a different lead. Because I'm telling you, man, don't buy an iPhone for its software experience. Features, maybe. In an experience, an archipelago of experiences, maybe. But I'm telling you, for the people who are lucky enough to be able to get Android L on their phone, I haven't had the experience yet, but just from a distance, I'm like, it just looks way more thought out in terms of a design ethos on a mobile device. Then, I don't know, Apple's like, maybe did someone know a high school intern that we can bring in? Because it just feels like that. I'm calm. Google, speaking of Google, has selected HTC to make its upcoming 9-inch Nexus tablet. I'll be excited to get my hands on that, just like I was for the 2 Nexus 7, or the Nexi 7. One of my favorite Android tablets. It may not be spec to the gills, but you know what? It's a clean experience. That's one of the things that I'm very much looking forward to in trying the clean experience of the Memo Pad 8. Maybe this would be a good time to open this now. I know it's Asus. I also happen to have this one, not related to the giveaway. I thought it was, but apparently this is not. I'm going to be unboxing this tomorrow, the Iconia Tab 8. Also a clean experience. This is running KitKat on the Iconia Tab 8, which is quite nice. To have the latest version. All right, let me go ahead and unbox it as I continue to speak through Google News. Oh, okay, let's see here. Some people like specs. Let's see if I can read the back of the specs here. Intel Bay Trail. Nice. That's the processor there. It is black. 1 gig of RAM. Pretty standard. 2 megapixel camera and a 5 megapixel camera on a tablet. Not bad. Let's see here. What else? Not really seeing anything else on here. I'm just trying to look at the any kind of specs that people might be interested in. But here's the spec. Do you want one? Let me know. Intel Android is the hashtag to use on Twitter. And since I am unboxing this one, I can put it in the back of the box if you want me to autograph it. I'd be happy to do that for you as well. This is it's a gift. It's a gift. Don't look it in the mouth. Hey, Chris, I know it's a gift, but would you be able to? It's a gift. Here we go. All right, now, how do I open the box? First rule of unboxing: know how to open the box. Here we go. You know what I would love? This is what I would love, and I'm waiting for a gadget manufacturer to do this. Is as you open the box, hear a and maybe a light, kind of like like Marcellus Wallace's soul in here. No. Wah, wah. No! Yay! I feel like I'm holding a baby. Aww. Oh, look at this. Look at this. It's an Asus Memo Pad 8. Oh, congratulations. You're a new father or mother out there for this. Here we go. Enjoy. This is, I don't know if this is a command or what. Enjoy a 1280 by 800 IPS display from a value tablet. And I tell you what, it doesn't get any more valuable or as value packed as me just going, here you go. Find a better value. I dare you. Intel inside, of course. Intel quad core processor. Wide viewing angle, HD display. Told you about the cameras. Dual speakers with Sonic Master technology. All right. Gonna unwrap the cellophane. I hope you don't mind. I'm probably gonna chuck the cellophane for the person who's going to be receiving it. I guess I'll keep it just in case you're picky. And okay, this must be. Oh man, I wanted to kind of boot it up, but this is the unboxing here. The back is it's plastic, but it's got a good grip to it. I like that. For an 8-inch tablet, it's not heavy, not light. It's kind of, I guess, in between. You got the nice Asus brand up front, if that's something that you happen to like. Camera there, Asus on the back. Of course, the Intel logo there. Yeah. I really like that feel. Some people don't like the plastic rubbery back. Would it be, maybe it is more rubber than it is plastic. I'm just going by feel here. I like that, because it gives grip. I like anything that I can easily grip. This isn't a complaint. You can't use the tablet with one hand. Hey, look, it's the iPhone 6s Plus. No, it's the Asus Memo Pad 8. There you go. That's what it looks like. It comes with this. Comes with a nice little AC adapter with USB. Comes with an instruction manual that you can ignore. And I'm assuming you're going to ignore the instruction manuals. And then a micro USB cable, which I hope is going to die soon. Not the tablet, but the micro USB standard replaced by the new USB standard Type C. And Type C looks very, very exciting. So I'm going to go ahead and rebox this. And I'll be giving something, I guess tonight at some point, I'll just say, hey, whoever participated and used the hashtag as I asked them to, where should I send your Intel Android tablet? It's like, the neat freak in me is just freaking out right now here. There we go. Not exactly like it was when it came in the box, but you're just going to have to let me know if you want me to remove the cellophane or not. Thank you, Intel, for that, and I think everyone's happy. Now, or at least one person will be. New Gmail accounts no longer require Google Plus profiles. Okay, here's the question. Like, Google, and I know a lot of Google Plus apologists, are saying, oh no, Google Plus is going to be around forever. I don't think so. This is a pretty big deal. I thought, maybe they figured out what they want to use Google Plus for. Maybe it's just going to be a media hub of sorts. But it seems they're now, I guess, removing it from identity altogether instead of tying things together. So I don't know. New Gmail accounts no longer require Google Plus profiles. That's pretty big news, I think. I guess I don't have a problem inherently with Google Plus. Some people might. It was kind of forced upon them. I went in willingly with open eyes. Timber, his arms wide. Shaka, when the walls fell. Darmok and Gelada Tanagra. There you go. That's just for Cassie Lowe. My Cassie Lowe shout out for the day. So yeah, big news there. Google's like changing its plans with Google Plus. It seems like about every month or so we get some bit of news about Google Plus. At 5.5 inches, back to the iPhone 6. The iPhone 6 Plus's screen exceeds that of the first real portable PC, the Osborne 1, which weighed 24 pounds. Just think about that. The screen on the iPhone 6 Plus is bigger than the first portable PC at 24 pounds. Fantastic. So Facebook's updated their algorithm again. Go figure. I still share on Facebook. Very, very happy to. In fact, some of the more popular on Facebook ever have been with my family, Jedi, and like just her alone or her and the family or it's strange to me. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. I love sharing my life with people, but it's kind of nice to see that kind of support. So they've tweaked their newsfeed algorithm to show more timely stories from friends and pages. So I probably need to do a better job at posting timely stories on Facebook, if you even use Facebook to follow news. Most people don't. They'll go to Twitter first. iCloud news. Now, I warned you last week, and some people were listening. Other people weren't. I'd say sorry, but, you know, I did say something about this last week. iCloud, you got to be careful in the iOS 8 upgrade, not necessarily upgrade to the iCloud drive if you still have a classic iOS devices and or you're not running Yosemite, because it may cause some issues with data synchronization, especially if apps have not yet been updated. Well, you're going to love this. iCloud for Windows, its update means that Windows PCs, can use iCloud Drive before Macs can. Oops. I don't know. It just seems, okay. All right. Maybe they're throwing Microsoft a bone. Just saying, it's kind of, what? Okay. Yeah, that's what Apple decided. By way of one of our supernomies, Earle Greene. This is actually fascinating to me. I watched this little video over the weekend. NVIDIA has proven the Apollo 11 moon hoax conspiracy theory was not a hoax, meaning we landed on the moon. And they've effectively used some of their new cards to create lighting situations wherein they've said, here's how the light works, and here's how it bounces, and here's how we compensate, here's how we do all these things, and we can render these things in real time. Fascinating. So you could pass this video along to all the hoax people, the hoaxies, the hoaxers, or whatever they want to call themselves. We landed on the moon, and NVIDIA has pretty much proven it based on photographic evidence that we really did. We did. We absolutely did. Unless you believe we didn't. Who are you going to believe? Unless you're going to say that NVIDIA's in on it and the Illuminati, tinfoil hat, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Your name could be there. It's really easy to do. In fact, I don't know if it's going to happen tonight. I got to do Diana's video for the week. She's doing some mommy Q&A. You guys can participate in that. You can ask her questions. She might be able to answer them for you. Maybe tomorrow I might do another exclusive hangout with the Supernomies. Did publish last night's hangout, although I was expecting more geek questions. Seems like everybody out there who participated in the hangout yesterday was only interested in asking questions about parenting and our child. So I probably should have published the video in the Classic Now vlog channel, the other one that you probably watch or you should be watching, because there's geek stuff that goes on there too. I would have put it over there, but instead it was published in this channel. Oh well. Also, by way of one of the Supernomies, Earle Greene, and Adam Wallace also sent a link to this too, although Earle was the first to make me aware of this. An eBay vulnerability has led to a phishing login page. And there's also an eBay vulnerability where you might visit a page on eBay, and because they haven't locked down JavaScript or various scripts, there could be cross-site scripting issues on eBay. And you could be hit without even knowing you were hit, and then suddenly there's all this weird activity in your account. You can't figure out why. It says you sold something, you never sold something. So I don't know what's going on, but I know that eBay is likely going to be responding to this, or you'd imagine. It's a pretty big news for those who might use eBay. I use eBay. I'm not going to stop using eBay. I love eBay. Without eBay, I probably wouldn't have half the things that I collect in hand. That's a flat fact. There's no better marketplace for memorabilia. As far as I'm concerned, eBay is it. So I fully expect that they will respond. Apple Pay. Again, this news by way of one of our Supernomies, Earle Greene. Apple Pay could attract buyers to small merchants. So here's the thing. The merchants are going to have to upgrade their point-of-sale systems anyway because of the EMV standard, which I misquoted last week. I think it was last week, if not the week before. EMV, Euro, MasterCard, Visa. I was thinking it was Europe, but it's Euro. Not having any hands-on experience with it, certainly living in the United States, it looks like it's going to be a welcome change. Well, at the point which they're going to upgrade their technology, they might as well, theoretically, as long as the costs are fine, they might as well also upgrade to a terminal that accepts NFC transactions, which is great news for people who are using Apple Pay or maybe another device that has NFC. So it's a big deal. Small merchants now could potentially be trusted because, like, do I really want to give you my information, or can I trust you? Well, it's Apple Pay? Okay, cool. There you go. Yeah, I trust Apple Pay. So it could lead to not just a lot more people supporting small merchants, but at a substantially deeper level, I think it's going to spur on a whole new level of transactions. One of the, I very rarely, if ever, do I buy anything on mobile because it's a pain in the ass. Let's face it. And I don't mean in a store going boop like that. I do that, boop. Okay. Oh, speaking of, there is a Starbucks apparently, and I got to see if this is available locally. There's a new Starbucks fall coffee blend that tastes a lot like Guinness coffee. Guinness beer. I'm not a huge fan of Guinness. It's a milkier stout, but I love stouts. I love porters. It's my favorite beer. If I fit a profile, that's it. So apparently it's dark something. It's a mocha, chocolate notes and caramel notes, and I want to try it. Either way. So just had to throw that in there for all you coffee geeks out there. I can't be the only one. When you trust an entity, it's a big deal. When you're mobile, I gotta pull out my credit card. Well, imagine now, I would like to. You're on Twitter and you're like, dude, Chris, that is awesome. Let's say I just featured this Vader's Little Princess book, or let's say I featured the Good Nate. There's another new word. It's a Pirilloism. Words that Chris makes up live. Good Night Darth Vader book, or let's say Darth Vader in the Sun. See, I've got all three. Please do not send any more. Give them to your local library if you care. I don't have the digital copies of these yet. That's the one thing. I don't have the ebooks. Maybe at some point. So let's say you see me tweet something with this book. Well, you normally have to jump over to the link, possibly log in, blah, blah, blah. Well, imagine you're scrolling in Twitter or Facebook and like, oh, cool. That looks like an awesome book and Chris likes it. I'd like to buy that too. Click buy. All right, press your Touch ID and you will magically have it. Boop. Done. You want to talk about impulse buys? Whoa! I'd almost want to have like a 10-minute wait time for some Touch ID transactions. Oh yeah, $5,000 computer? That sounds good. Click. No! Dude, you've done that. You've bought something and then going, I shouldn't have bought that. I forgot to research something. But it's going that way. It's going that route with mobile. So it's nice to see Apple being a good part of it, and I hope that it will also bring the Android experience to a completely different level in terms of usability with mobile transactions as well, because Google took a completely different approach to the marketplace, which was one of the reasons it just didn't take off. So, which isn't to speak against the technical merits of what Google did. It just obviously didn't work. Otherwise, a lot more people would be using it today. Next, this is another fantastic story that I shared over the weekend. Michaelin on Twitter, after she caught me talking about how, without women in tech, half the males in tech wouldn't have the tech that they have. She sent a fantastic story, or a compilation of 17 rare images telling the story of women in tech, going all the way back to really the advent of personal computing. And women have been very much a part of it. So anybody who claims that women have no place in tech, really, they obviously don't know their history. Oops. Do a little research, and maybe you'll discover that the truth is out there. Ooh, wait. What was the X-Files name? It's been so long. I was never an X-Files fan, though. I didn't get into it. It was fine, but I never got into it, believe it or not. By way of Mike Linux NL, he sent a link to, this is no joke, I'm not going to back it, but it's a Kickstarter project called No Phone. So there's a thing, and it's a thing, nomophobia. Have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't get online? You really wanted to get online, you couldn't get online, you're jonesing for an internet connection. Well, instead of holding onto a phone or looking at the phone, this, what appears to be like a 3D printed phone kind of thing, and I guess the final version will be smoother and nicer, it's just this brick that's supposed to feel like a phone. It's a phone replacement, so that you can still have the comfort of, the phone's in my hand, or that phone's in my pocket without actually having a phone. I think it could work. It's crazy enough to work. I'm not going to call it stupid. I'm just going to call it crazy enough to work. Also, by way of one of the Supernomies, Earle Greene, through the end of September, Microsoft is offering new OneDrive users 30 gigs of free OneDrive space, up from 15 gigs that Microsoft usually offers. Good news, although I think most of our community probably already has a OneDrive account. Microsoft also has made it easier for students to get Office 365 at no cost. So if you go to a certain university or a certain school, there's a possibility that you will not have to pay for an Office 365 subscription. Check in if you're still in school, and I know a good part of our community happens to be kids who are in school. Or adults. You know, anybody can go to school. And this is another bit of news, and this reminded me, as we talked earlier, or referred earlier to USB DisplayPort alternate mode. I'm going to try this again. DisplayPort alternate mode for USB Type-C has been announced. That means you can push video, power, data all over USB Type-C. Reversible, clean, fast. It is like the way I wish USB was from the beginning. Honestly, it's really going to be spectacular to be able to migrate everything I have. I mean, like, seriously, I have maybe 1 or 2 devices these days that are mini USB compatible. Very few. That's how you know it's old. And a lot of micro USB devices. But I would absolutely be getting rid of a lot of those devices over time, certainly, and dropping them in favor for USB Type-C devices. USB 3.1 is pretty much inherent with that. So now basically USB is going to be able to pretty much handle everything. Not everything. I mean, is there a value of Lightning? Sure, for Apple. Is there a value for Thunderbolt? Sure, for Apple at this point. But you know, this is one of the reasons I'm very happy to see the USB just basically, you know, continue forward, because I think USB has always been good enough. I mean, certainly, I remember a day and age when USB didn't exist, and peripherals always caused a great amount of stress. At least with Windows, and I'd imagine with the Mac OS at that time. You know, going from parallel or serial cables. This is one of the reasons why one of the first digital cameras I had, you know, I wasn't a fan of cables. I've never been a fan of cables. I've wanted to get rid of cables, but cables are still, there's a value to them. There's going to come a time. I think well within my lifetime, and certainly likely within yours as well, when wireless throughput is going to... I think it's going to exceed wired throughput in terms of traditional networking, gigabit speeds. Are we there right now? No. Will we be there? I believe so. Or let me put it this way. There's potentially a law of diminishing returns at play. So if it's good enough, you know, right? So if wireless speeds work well enough, why would you go with a wired connection? Because the wireless speed could rival it. And I'm already at that stage now with a lot of the devices that I have on a wireless network. So I think that's going to be a big deal, really, in moving forward. Wireless is going to become it. Now, if you combine wireless speeds, amazing wireless speeds, with security, better security, with wireless electricity, you eliminate a lot of the frustrations, cords, charging, battery life, all sorts of issues, and we're getting there. Like 10 years from now, I think I would hope we're living in a different world. 10 years from now, I mean, just think back. What was it? The iPhone was 10. Is it 10 years old now? No, it's not quite 10. Not quite. Is it? Hey, someone can fact check me on this, but God, I'm trying to remember. 2007, 8, right in there. So it couldn't be 10 years old. We have various iPhones, though. We have 10 iPhones. That's what I was thinking. Obviously, the 6 Plus and the 6 were released at the same time, and the 5C and the 5S released at the same time. So that's that's what messed me up. Sorry, my bad. Look at that. Love daisy chaining SCSI drives. My favorite kind of drive. SCSI. I never had... No. I may have had a SCSI compatible peripheral, but I can't remember managing SCSI. Maybe it's just, I like the acronym, fine. It was a good, SCSI. Do you want to plug in this SCSI peripheral? Why do I sound like that creature on Monsters, Inc., the secretary? Would you like to plug in the SCSI peripheral? What was her name? You know, the one that Mike Wazowski talks to? She got the horn-rimmed glasses. All right. I think I've babbled enough for one day. So... Again, to remind everybody... Oh, I forgot. I wanted to keep this here. You know what? I apologize. I mentioned that I would have this in the video the entire time, and I forgot. I failed to do that, and that is my bad. I apologize for that. But I did unbox it, so hopefully it's good interplay there. Intel Android. Use the Intel Android hashtag. Be sure to tag me too at Chris Pirillo, so that I know that. Otherwise, you could be using it and I send it to you, and you're like, "Who's Chris Pirillo?" You'd know who I was then. Thanks again for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being you. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have a great week. And if nobody else told you this today, I appreciate you. Someone in this world appreciates you for who you are. And I hope you find happiness if you haven't already found it, so long as it doesn't come at the cost of somebody else's happiness. At this point, I am going to leave you to your own devices. Oh, no, not yet. I take that back. I have to record... Oh, the joys of self-production. Today, I do 5 Q&As. I'm screwing up left and right. 5 Q&A videos every week. 4 of them are exclusive to the Supernomies. 1 is made for everybody. So the one that's going to be made for everybody this week is the question, how has becoming a dad changed your life? I'll see if I can get Jedi, if she's fine or she's kind of napping, and kind of talk through the video that way, and kind of talk through my experience with being a dad after the first week, which, you ask me a year down the road, and I can pretty much guarantee it'll be a different response. So now, you can tune in for that video. You can watch it in this channel. Now, I think I'm done. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices.